There's not much in the way of economic data, both here or abroad on Friday, and indeed today's a very quiet day for the data as well. But on Friday we did get quite a bit of local news. Unfortunately, we had some bad finance company news, with Allied Nationwide Finance calling in the receivers and South Canterbury Finance getting another credit downgrade. They're down to CC with ratings agency Standard & Poor's, so negative news for both those companies. Of course, we also had the Fonterra payout announcement, and all the risks seem to be the downside the way that the auctions have been going lately. But Fonterra were confident enough in the outlook to confirm the current payout. We'll just have to wait and see how prices go in the months ahead. But in terms of currency reaction to that, there wasn't much of the way of reaction. Perhaps the markets were slightly comforted by that. I think the New Zealand dollar might have slipped if we'd heard negative news from Fonterra. When we're looking at the currency against the US dollar, we eased. Most currencies did on Friday night, but we seem to be finding pretty reasonable support every time the New Zealand dollar gets down towards 70 cents against the US dollar. The Australian dollar was weak. Their election result didn't really help too much. With an unclear outcome from the elections, it's going to take several days, if not weeks, to work out what's happening in the Aussie election. And this morning we saw the Australian dollar take a bit of a hit. That saw the New Zealand dollar lift on the Aussie cross. 80 cents against the Aussie dollar still looks like it's going to be an area of resistance, and we're trading below that level right now. In terms of things to look out for over the next few days, well, there's not much in the way of economic news in the near term. In New Zealand, we've just got RBNZ's survey of expectations. People have a close look at inflation expectations within that survey. That's due out tomorrow. We've got a lot of company reports coming out at the moment, so we'll be watching the share markets both here and abroad to set the theme. And we've also got more housing data coming out of the States in the first couple of days of this week. So for tonight and the next few nights, those will be the things that we're watching to set the direction for the New Zealand dollar and for markets in general. With not much in the way of data, it was equity markets which really set the tone, and investors are still fretting about global growth or the lack of it, and commodities really seem to take their tone from that, with the oil prices off and the CRB index just losing a little bit of ground on Friday night. That'll continue to be the theme for this week. I think investors will just continue to be concerned about growth. The next major thing that we're looking for is the global dairy trade auction in early September.